Well, I was separated from all of my siblings. At the time, there were five of us. So my sister was 10. My youngest sibling was not even walking yet. Being the oldest, it was really hard for me. I was mom in the family. My brother called me mom. It was like really weird. I mean, I was not even a teenager, and I was mom. So it was very difficult for me to see that everybody was going in different parts of the state. That was probably my biggest struggle. One of the most scary things for me to deal with.
Leda came into our care under the Safe Families program. There had been a couple calls made to DCFS regarding neglect of the children. The Safe Families program was put into place in hopes that a temporary situation could help the family reunite, and that wasn't the case, and then went to foster care.
So many teenagers are worried about what they're going to do next Friday night, and I had to be worried about our next court date or what time our caseworker was coming over in the morning. And at that time, I was very sick. I was developing an ulcer. We figured out that it was lesions that were there. They were obviously stress-induced, and it wasn't a surprise to me, but it caused me to miss a lot of school. When you're in the system for a while, or when you're at a certain age, you don't want to talk to anybody. You have enough people in your life. You have enough people asking you questions. I mean, after a few weeks, I'd get another caseworker, and it would be the same process over again. What school do you go to? What's your goal? What do you want to do? And there wasn't a chance for me to feel like I could trust them.
Many children really don't have a voice to speak on behalf of themselves. Many of them have needs that no one would ever know about because they're afraid to talk about it.
So when I first got a CASA, I was annoyed. I don't know what CASA is. Nobody told me anything about a CASA. There's another person coming to see me. There's another person that's going to try to figure me out and then leave. That was my mindset. And I quickly found that that wasn't the case.
CASA of Cook County is a program here and has one volunteer assigned to each youth here within the child protection system. Their main objective is to advocate for the youth's needs.
To make sure the child is safe, also to get the child's voice. So what is the child saying about their placement, about other people involved in their life, their parents, their situation. The CASA, we don't have any hidden agendas. It's all about making sure that child's voice is being heard.
To be a good CASA, you really have to show consistency. You have to show up when you say you're going to show up. You have to be there, being available to go to a school assembly that they might be performing in, or if they're on a team on the weekend and just showing up at a game. Those are the little things that really mean a lot.
She would call just to say, hey, how was school today? It was then that I realized that my CASA wasn't going anywhere, and I was like, all right, well, do I make up a story just so she can leave me alone, or do I trust her? And I went through a time where I was like, well, I'm not gonna do it. It's not worth trying. After I had been sick for so long, I pretty much gave up academically. I stopped writing my essays, and I stopped doing homework, and there was a lot of motivation that came from my CASA. It was very easy to ask questions because I knew that they would know the answers, and if they didn't, they'd find them out. When I wanted to visit my siblings, they would come in and talk to me and say, well, this is why we can't, or this is what we're gonna do to try to visit them.
Leda is very concerned about her younger siblings, and she wants to continue to maintain a relationship with them. And she vocalized to CASA that she wanted to continue to have that relationship even if they were separated. And that was consistently something that we advocated for her throughout her case, was that even though she was not placed with her siblings, that she always maintained that contact.
I mean, it helps kids realize that they do matter and what they have to say matters. CASA gives kids a voice that they don't know that they necessarily have.
The result has been phenomenal. These children are so brave. They're in so many people's homes and are introduced to so many lifestyles, and every day they get up and it's a new day to move forward. And if we could provide a safe place for someone to do that, I mean, my job is done.
I will be going to the University of Illinois in Champaign-Urbana as a social work major and a James Honors Scholar. Eventually, I'd like to get my LCSW after my MSW, of course, but gotta think ahead. I know I have a voice, and I know I have something to say, and I know I can help other kids. And that's what led me to social work. And I wouldn't have known that without being stable for so many years.